When you are living paycheck to paycheck or balancing uneven gig income, a sudden $20 bill or a minor $40 deficit in your checking account can feel like a slow-motion financial derailment. Most traditional banks do not offer a safety net. Instead, they wait for you to make a mistake and trigger a $35 overdraft fee. That exact scenario is what led me to test out Cashli, a relatively newer cash advance app that advertises small, interest-free advances up to $150 without requiring a traditional credit check or even a social security number. The biggest fear most people have when trying out apps like Cashli is whether there is a hidden catch. Is this a predatory payday loan in disguise? Will it secretly tank your credit score or drain your bank account with surprise charges? When you are already stressed about money, the last thing you want to do is download an app that makes your situation worse. My goal in testing Cashli was to evaluate whether it actually serves as a helpful financial bridge or if it simply creates a recurring cycle of microdebt. To understand how Cashli works, you first have to understand what problem it is trying to solve. Unlike larger fintech apps like Earnin or Bridget that cater primarily to W-2 employees with fixed pay stubs, Cashli positions itself as a more inclusive tool. It accepts non-traditional income sources, including freelancing, gig work, disability insurance, and social security. When you sign up, you link your primary checking account using Plaid, a secure third-party integration. Cashli scans your account history, deposit consistency, and spending patterns to calculate your initial advance limit. In my experience, new users should manage their expectations regarding advance limits. Even though the app advertises advances up to $150, most first-time users unlock a significantly lower starting limit, often between $10 and $40. As you build a history of successful automated repayments, the app gradually increases your threshold. The application process itself is smooth and frictionless. The interface is clean, showing your spending insights, potential overdraft forecasts, and available advance amounts right on the home dashboard. Requesting funds takes less than 2 minutes. However, this is where the actual cost structure comes into focus. While Cashli advertises 0% interest and no late fees, it operates on a subscription model charging around $4.88 per month to maintain your linked account analysis. Furthermore, while standard ACH transfers take 2 to 3 business days at no extra cost, opting for instant delivery to your debit card within seconds incurs an additional express delivery fee. When you break down the math, this is where you need to be cautious. If you request a small $20 advance and pay a $4 subscription fee plus a $2 express transfer fee, you are effectively paying $6 to borrow $20 for 2 weeks. Expressed as an annual percentage rate, that small convenience cost is surprisingly high. This does not mean Cashli is a scam. It is a legitimate platform, but it does mean you must evaluate the app based on real math rather than just marketing terms. Another common question is how repayment works and whether you run the risk of double overdrafting. Cashli schedules an automated withdrawal from your linked bank account on your anticipated deposit date or next scheduled pay cycle. If your bank account balance drops too low on the repayment date, automatic withdrawals can potentially trigger the exact bank overdraft fees you were trying to avoid in the first place. Fortunately, Cashli provides spending insights and proactive alerts to notify you before a predicted deficit occurs, but the responsibility to manage your available balance ultimately lies with you. So, what is the actionable takeaway from using Cashli? First, use Cashli strictly as an emergency bridge for small expenses, such as filling up your gas tank to get to work or covering an essential prescription, rather than using it for casual, everyday spending. Second, if you decide to use the app, plan ahead to use the standard ACH transfer option whenever possible to eliminate express transfer fees. Third, treat the monthly subscription fee as an operational cost and factor it into your monthly budget. If you find yourself pulling advances every single month just to cover basic expenses, Cashli ceases to be a helpful bridge and instead becomes a dependency. In that situation, the most effective financial move is to pause advance apps entirely and focus on building a minimal $50 or $100 manual buffer directly inside your checking account. Cashly can be a reasonable, credit-friendly alternative to payday loans for short-term liquidity gaps, provided you enter with clear eyes about its limits and fee structure.